the one you're in right now, you actually it does go all the way down to the ground, and there's a central structure which is almost like a tower within the tower, almost like a mountain within it. And so the part you're on is more technological, but that and its extensions are the original structure that this has been, built up from. So the great deal of it just looks like massive industrial energy based infrastructure that just keeps the tower running. A great deal of it. So you are in a transport lift thing, but what's a little odd about it is that it's used by flying people. So it kind of assumes that you get out and fly somewhere else. So it's not like going straight up in a convenient fashion for a walking person. Um, so at some point you're going to have to get out and like go across, a catwalk, or go, how do I get across that? As people kind of look at you funny and fly across, and and that's the other problem too. Just like Ixochol, you're suddenly in a populated environment, and you don't look like you belong here. Um, so I mean, you're maybe a little less out of place in that you work in the sanitation plant, and glory be, there's sanitation plants in here. There's one right there, as a matter of fact. So it's not too. You're not completely out of place, but you're not winged. Then again, now that I think about it, in this, there are people who aren't winged in this level. You are conceivably, with a little bit of effort, you might actually be able to quit looking like a violent fugitive with blood all over you and start looking like somebody who actually might sort of belong here, if that's the way you want to go. I'm just saying that's a. Wait, you're muted, by the way. Jerry, muted. There.
I turned it off for a second. All right. Do you guys still hear that echo?
No, you're fine.
Okay, yeah, I got rid of it. I've been fiddling. But yeah, first order of business is to normalize the way I look up here. I'm just a sanitation worker doing maintenance work stuff. So if there's like a smock I can pull off of something, or if I could go over to the sanitation place and just grab something and put it on.
The closets where you get your suit, I mean, they are right there.
Oh, yeah, right. Then I'll put that on. And what I would like to do is if there is a computer console up here or something for these lifts where I can open the lifts or give access to the people down in Freetown to all the various lifts. I don't know how difficult that would be, but that's what I want to do. I want to basically give everyone down there access to this up here. Not necessarily like I'm just going to open it and allow it to happen right now, but I want to be able to do so and get access to that. I'm not sure where I would go to do that. Maybe AVIX technology is. I'm
thinking that this is one of these things, and also based on what I've said about AVIX culture, you can easily identify management kiosks or cubicles or offices or little sectors for just about anything, but they are not particularly networked.
Okay.
So that means, they're very good at handling what they handle, locally or specifically. So that means that you've got a bit of a job to get to enough of these places and manage all the different things. Now, what you're really talking about is, first of all, there are systems in the tower that have not been activated for generations.
Right.
And any number of them actually create openings in the base of the tower. right?
Okay.
I mean, they open, portals. Now, this was for a flying people, so it's not like they open walkways. They do not extend escalators. They do not,
Right.
open at ground level and then a little rug unrolls, outward or anything like that.
Right.
But on the other hand, it does allow immense personal access at multiple points. And there are industrial lifts that go upward that can be activated because those are used all the time. And if all those need is, 50 people to jump on them, and guess what? Up they go. So, so with this is cool because it catches you up to Hibu's timestamp, fills
Okay.
fills in the gap that we're in. It catches you up because this is going to take a while. You're going to have to actually be, you might even actually have to do some work.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
and what's
Oh, yeah.
also, no surprise to you is that as long as a wingless person is wearing the right clothes, makes the right noises, and goes and does something, everybody stops paying attention to them.
Right.
So,
Yep.
so nobody is showing barcodes. Nobody's being security checked. This whole area has like shit security
Right.
because everybody just does their jobs and has been forever.
Okay. Well, that's
So,
good for me. And
absolutely, yeah,
I will.
you're very
Okay.
much in an unconstructed workplace where everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and all you have to do is roll with the flow. Maybe spend 2 hours in the sanitation works, right?
Right. Yeah.
doing the
Exactly.
work. um but as far as setting it up for this purpose, I don't really see this as a role at the moment. It's when you activate it that we do the role.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Right now, I'm basically just setting it up. Then I'm like,
Right.
okay. In fact, I will go to the sanitation place down the way just so, like, if security does come looking, I am not here.
Right. Right.
And go down there and start setting it up and trying to get in contact with my people down below.
That's going to be the other part, right? It's the contact issue. I
Right.
figured. Right. And so that I will actually be an interesting thing of timing, probably. So then that leads us to Kixcall. Down
Mm-hmm.
there, you're all alone.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try and talk to the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and ask for help. I have news about Karnovix. Do you know him?
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me to get a message to Nalak?
Oh goodness. Okay. Um, well, this is the you will be okay. Let's get a little better situation understanding here. Um, Once you start talking to people and asking for help, uh, you'll receive a positive response, a basically positive response, which is to simply, um, you know, associate you with some particular workplace. So you're brought to a place where people would be working, and you're able to talk to a supervisor or to a couple of people who found you. And we are talking about Avix with very practical garments, with one thing they're not doing a lot is shape shifting expressively. So you may be used to people changing their faces very rapidly and with moods, or to express sarcasm or any number of things. Um, and that's one thing these people don't do. There's not a lot. I mean, they this is what they look like, and I have a job to do. Yeah, I can change my face and change my shape a little bit, but who cares, right? It's not important. So there's a lot. It's one of the big behavioral differences you're encountering here, and um, so you have two responses. You have three responses. One is to help a person who seems lost, alone, possibly hurt. Second response, a certain hostility toward you as an elite tower person, and a possibility of whatever gain that could be. Um, and then third, uh, the mention of Carnivix and Lalak is controversial. There are people who are very in favor of them and people who are very not in favor of them. And clearly, like the supervisor of this workplace is like, um, listen, we are loyal citizens. Don't what um, why are you asking after terrorists, militants, troublemakers? So then other people, the one of the first people who found you is going to have a very different response to those names. It's kind of like, well, I know a guy. I know somebody who knows somebody who's involved with those people. So and everybody is on edge because of what's happening. I mean, the news feeds from the walk up are going on. I mean, you can actually see the news. I mean, there's Awaxta, breathlessly reporting that Carnivix has been captured, and Hibu, has been uh, it's confusion. The one person is saying that Hibu has been captured, probably taken by the rebels, and another person, and then feed comes up and you actually see Hibu. This is something you hadn't seen before. You actually see Hibu like lay into a whole bunch of, guards who were coming to capture Lalak, and other people, and Hibu just basically takes down a bunch of them with a sword, right, and clearly exits under her own power, and everybody is this is controversial. Nobody can figure out what that means. um, so all of that's going to be quickly available to you as you are talking to people. All of the news floaty little screens and stuff, little holographic screens and everything, those are all over the place. um, the um, yeah, so as soon as soon as they somebody may recognize that you were there because of all this news. um but you are not perceived as a major player, right? I mean, anybody, a silly person or a casual observer, would think that you were just some little clerk who came along with Hibu. So maybe you're not getting a lot of play. I mean, Hibu is a much more dramatic figure to be focusing the cameras on in lots of ways. So I'm going to say, yeah, I don't really see you in danger of immediate recognition, although it's only an idiot would not understand that you were involved somehow. So you're kind of in a tricky situation. Are you going to get turned over to security? Are you going to like get your request to be connected with Carnivix's people? I mean, you've got, and also by security, I don't mean tower security. I mean, the local.
Got that.
Right.
We
And
both
also,
did.
yeah. And not only that though, I mean, it's they seem to be kind of not very organized. Somebody says, we should call the captains, and someone else is like, yeah, right. As you know, there has been difficulty at that level of community policing down here. So what shall you attempt to do? You want to get to Carnivix's people. You want to get to Lalak, correct? Okay.
Mhm.
So how are you going to do that?
Mhm. So okay, so did I am in some kind of office or in some kind of place
I
where
see it
there
as
are
open rather than a
higher,
building, but
yeah,
yes,
but
yeah.
higher upper people that are obviously not really surprising, not inclined to help me the way I would like to be helped. But I can
Well,
see people that,
right. There's a diversity of viewpoints around you. That's for sure. I
but
think.
there is a lot of people around me. Huh?
Hmm. I don't see
So
you as
far, they
surrounded by.
don't know who I am, but it's
Right.
really unclear what they will do when they find out.
Right.
Get a little fake mustache.
That's right.
I can shapeshift, but
That well, yeah,
what-
but yeah.
and that's the least thing I think is smart. So. Okay, shift of tactics. I know that news guy, that one. If you just bring me to him, I'm sure he can help me. And thank you.
So are you addressing them collectively,
Mhm.
or okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But trying to back out and to get closer to those people who seem to react
Right.
positively to
Mhm.
the names I dropped so far.
Right. Okay. So what trait will you use?
Yeah.
And Jerry, is there a role that you need to make, do you think?
Maybe mechanical adept would be
Well,
the one.
Right, but I'm not talking about, you don't need to make a roll to set up. I want to, once you set it up, now what are you going to try to do? I think.
Right. Basically, I want control of those lifts, and then I'm going to contact or attempt to contact the people down below and let them know, I have access. I don't know what's going on down there, but I have access. I'm alive and I'm somewhat safe.
Right.
So that's my next move, is basically let my people know, and also that we have access.
Right now, communications is going to be a whole different problem. There isn't, a PA system from the tower to Freetown.
Right. Can I contact someone, that influencer that we were talking to down there, and let everyone know then?
Right.
So I'll contact them.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I'm hoping they are still embedded with Hebrew and the people down in Freetown.
Right.